Welcome to a super exciting edition of Inside Media Weekly. I'm Ryan Boni, and back again. They're here.
Pressure all the time.
Kevin Bastos.
Hi, welcome back.
Team Kevin is just was down
Solo, working solo today. You know,
so it's going to be a fair fight now between Kevin
all right.
Bastos on the left, Justin Pinto on the right. I guess it depends on.
I was looking at. I'm on the
Depends,
right and
yeah,
you're on the
That's
left.
true. I guess
perspective.
from the viewer's perspective is Justin
I've
Pinto.
really started to think about when I listen to the sports on the radio. They move right to left across your dial. They say stuff like that. And I'm always like, this has to be such like, that's not something you can just say. Like, you have to know how it is all in relation and everything. So, Mike Lang says it all the time. Move across your dial and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Huh.
Gotta paint the picture.
Steelers also make an announcement that way.
And then the Pirates, the guy just talks about the uniforms in such great detail. Have you ever heard him when he talks about the uniforms of the
No,
teams?
there's not much else to talk about on that team.
I mean, it is unbelievable.
Well, it's a small market team.
That's what's happened to Jam 162 games too.
No,
This
that's what happens when the team is that much of a joke in this city.
Welcome to Inside Sports Weekly.
Yeah, changing topics.
little sports show.
Right,
What?
left,
Yeah.
left,
Right, left, you know.
Radio's
It's media related. It is.
Radio reaches more people than any other medium.
I've heard that
I've heard
advertisement
that commercial as well, and I don't buy
from
that.
the radio.
95%
Were you
of
listening
people.
to it?
Unbiased source, the radio.
Did they say what 94,
95?
95?
93% of all
Does that
people.
mean like in their lifetime they have listened to the radio, or does that mean they're
Weekly, on a
consistently-
weekly basis. So that means sometimes, somewhere, at some moment, they've heard
And
radio.
But they say AM FM radio too in the ad, I believe.
well, you know.
So that
I
doesn't
gotta
count
imagine
satellite, right? That doesn't count.
Well, when you're walking through, like, you know, a Sheets,
Well, that's true. And they
the
have
radio
on.
might be on. And that's counting it. Counting it!
I would think more people listen to radio than watch TV.
I would not agree with that.
I would say everybody who watches TV probably also listens to radio at some point.
Well,
And the people who listen to radio may not watch TV.
This is a good
I would
debate.
disagree with you. When you say the radio, I would not agree with you.
Okay.
People have things on in the car,
Correct.
but they may be
AM, FM, yes,
they
not
might be
XM.
satellite, they might be podcasts
Device.
on their devices or music on their devices. But,
Now, if we're counting the guy walking through Kogo's, sure.
Does it say in the? I don't know what the commercial
Sure.
says. Does it say could reach?
We're giving a lot of
Does it
ads.
reach people? Like, because I'm in a car, AM, FM's there. It could reach me.
They're using all sorts of
Crazy.
phony,
Well, statistics. You can
It seems
see.
like a
It
Media
could
One
reach,
topic.
right. Oh, it is. Well, except we don't do advertising anymore.
To talk about
So that's out the window.
deceptive.
No, well,
it's
man.
not. Well, I'm sure it's not deceptive advertising. It is misleading advertising.
Misleading, yes. Advertising is inherently about misleading you.
You
No one says
really need-
food so you don't die of starvation. That's truth.
That is.
That's the truth.
Star Wars Gillette razor. Mm-hmm. Because you really need one.
Right. Because you're not below 30 years old.
Speaking of old, it's not getting old. The sea otters. Can you see them? Is the TV on
They're
this time?
on.
It's
I can't
on,
see an
except
otter.
I can't see an otter.
I gotta
So-
mute my
That's okay.
father's
You're-
line here.
Your
Craziness.
media. So as we were prepping for the show, as not,
Yes.
not the rundown,
Whoa.
but
Whoa. There it is.
they were doing a whole show here at the Monterey Bay. They had
Look, an otter.
this woman was making announcements to a microphone. They were feeding, and then they came out and they sprayed down the exhibit, and now they're not there.
Now I'm going to say this, and this is going to seem very sharp. Boni, do you have a monitor right in front of you?
I do.
And you have a giant monitor right back here?
Yeah.
And Justin and I share the one tiny monitor that has to be like 5
yeah.
feet away from us.
So you can break. Okay, you want a bigger monitor? Is that what you're saying?
And I'm saying, geez, if you're going to have this giant monitor behind you,
He's doing laps.
we could have these two tiny monitors in front of
Put one
us.
back here. We can put it back on.
Is there
the
another
screen.
monitor on your computer too?
This is just the
the
rundown that you guys
the
haven't seen
rundown
yet.
that we got. Oh, wait a minute.
Actually, so deceptive leads me to my first question or topic here. So,
Interesting.
these headlines of some of these stories, as I peruse the web in order to pull stories for our show to share with you guys on the rundown, there's always these interesting headlines that say, for instance, Infinity War is bringing 76 Marvel characters to the big screen.
Go on.
And
Okay.
Then you go.
I couldn't name 76 Marvel characters.
Oh, I could.
Seems like a lot.
It is a lot.
And
I could.
that's a very definitive headline, is it not? And then you listen to. So they interviewed Chris Hemsworth, who's promoting that 12 Strong movie, which is coming out this weekend.
My guess is it's not 76 Avengers.
He says, this is one of the biggest things in film history, and to be part of it was just incredible. I think what these characters are about to face with Thanos, there's been nothing quite like it. There are 76 cast members, or something like that. And then it becomes Infinity War is bringing 76 Marvel characters to the big screen. Most of these big movies have 76 characters, right?
Well,
76 people listed in the credits.
Yeah, in the credits.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe more. I mean, it's 76
And everyone's
people
playing a character,
speaking
usually.
role.
So,
I mean, is that like mentioning Uncle Ben in something? Is that like
Stan Lee is in the background
Stan
of something,
Lee, that's
so he'll
true.
be credited with something. He's a
could
Marvel
be an
character.
uncredited cameo,
He's usually not credited. He's usually just, although he has had a couple of credited roles.
or to say Stan Lee as himself.
He was
Or are you saying when he's playing
in
an
one
actor
film. He
character?
was the mail carrier that used to stop by Fantastic Four, and I forget what that name of that character was. But that has an actual name. Like in the first 30
They
issues,
named him or whatever.
Yeah, he showed up all the time, and he played that male character.
I find it odd that Thor is on promoting 12 Strong, and he talks about how big of a movie Avengers is going to be. like, shouldn't 12 Strong be the big movie you're talking about?
sure,
Like,
that's-
you shouldn't say Infinity War is going to be the biggest movie of all time. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. I'm doing this other movie comes out this week. It's pretty good. It's not bad.
B minus.
But we have 76 or something like that people in the movie.
So two things I got to ask. One, can this possibly be any good? As good as the buildup is going to be for this movie? And then the second part of that question is, if it is as good as you believe it's going to be, is there any way then to top it or move on after that?
Well, they changed it, right? It was going to be Infinity Wars Part 1 and Part 2. Now, this is just Infinity Wars. And the fourth installment has no title,
Yeah.
right?
I don't usually add things until they come out.
But there was billed at one point as two
Part one and
parts.
two.
Yeah,
right?
I believe I'm still waiting for the 5th part of The Hobbit, so
Is that coming?
no, it's not coming. I'm being a jerk.
Was it supposed to be a fifth part?
No. I think there was initial announcements that are like, we're going to make this really short, simple movie into 3 movies. And I was like, oh, boy. But I don't know.
They did. They really drug it out,
Now,
too.
now, to be fair, currently
Slow motion and everything.
the 2019 movie is just called Untitled Avengers Film.
Oh, well, I hope it
But
comes
yes,
out like
but
that.
the originally was going to be Avengers Infinity War Part 1. That would be great.
Sort of like the Beatles' White Album.
Untitled Avengers movie.
Avengers. the
We're back
white
for more
movies.
cash.
You're going to come see it. So either you can say how much you love it, or you can say what a disaster it is.
So can they possibly pull off
It's going to be better than Age of Ultron.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it just has a better premise
It's
from the
going to be
beginning of a
54
comic book
hours
story.
long. What do we? I mean,
2.5, I think, would be a fair estimate.
Oh, yeah. Strong. And you're going to have all of these quick... I mean, this is going to be the movie where you put all of the quick clips to people. Like, I'm betting somewhere in the neighborhood of 99 to 100%. You're going to have the quick cameos of every character that the whole Disney pantheon has just bought out. So you're going to see Flash, not Flash. You're going to see Fantastic Four. You're going to see a bunch of X-Men in there.
I'll have to find
This
that
is gonna
graphic.
be
There's a good graphic of who owns
crossover
what.
of Silver Surfer and Galactus. and-
I mean, Fantastic Four has been MIA. They've been gone for a long time. They've been
no, they haven't. They've been around.
They don't even have a comic book right now.
Oh no, I thought you meant in the movies.
Oh,
The
there's been
movie
no
came out and
ongoing.
It was terrible.
There's been no ongoing Fantastic Four comic book for a couple years, I think.
Let's say something terrible. That's because Fantastic Four is terrible.
I was thinking it was more about like, well, let's
so you're
just.
saying the name Fantastic doesn't refer to the quality.
Have you read Fantastic Four
I
comics?
have not. I've
Have
seen
you
the movies.
read
but
Fantastic
not-
Four comics?
I have not, but I did read.
They are hard to
I
read.
heard that the Hickman run was really good.
Oh, that's like the last 10 years, right?
He was in the last 10 years. The Human Torch dies
Right.
in one of the issues. Hickman is that guy. Hickman wrote he writes those overarching huge storylines. They're like.
There have been so many times where people, and I remember going, this is 80s, 90s, where, and I forget who took it over, but he got permission to create the new team, and it got a little bit popular, and then for issue 300, they were like, back to the old group again. Forget that. Go back to the old guys again.
And that's there's been so few comic books that are ongoing that have hit hundreds of issues that have always been good. Like everything goes up and down, and it's just like, and especially new age stories, which are so different than what comic books used to be.
Inside Comic Books Weekly now. I think the movie can be good. I also think it's going to show off every character they've bought right now. So every extremist, crazy.
Will Hugh Jackman make a cameo as Wolverine?
Hugh has said no. They're going to have to pull the dump truck of money out to his house.
He says no, but is it all like a big...
Listen, if they pulled the dump truck big enough to his house, he'd be like, all right,
Of course, how many people were they paying, though, already for this movie to be...
It doesn't matter.
What's $1 million to Wolverine?
That's true. All right.
Although, who's the new Wolverine going to be? I mean, I guess you could just bring him in and everyone...
I think there's going to be some starting crossover, crashing, rebirth, mega event thing. I have to do it a lot with comic books. Well, comic book movies, I guess I should say.
Well, because in the trailer, the first trailer that came out, of course, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy at the end. We saw Doctor Strange in the middle of the action that was going on, and I can't imagine.
It starts right after Thor, the most recent Thor movie, doesn't it? Like
I don't know.
I think that I read that. I have not seen the most recent Thor, but I think I said that this movie picks up like.
Well, because isn't there a post-credit sequence?
I didn't see it.
Thor
I don't know.
that I was just reading about that. That's when Thanos' ship is arriving.
Go ahead, wreck it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll wreck it. I don't care.
I haven't seen this movie that came out in November. Don't spoil it for me, please. Especially the post-credits scene. Whatever you do.
I got bad news for you. If you've seen the trailer, you know he's coming to.
What?
Oh,
was that him, Thanos? That was Thanos.
So. Maybe not. Maybe it's all.
Is it just me?
Misdirect.
Like as you watch these, like the thing about Marvel is like you watch the movie and like Thanos, like this bigger than life character, doesn't look just like the comic book, but at least he looks like believable,
representative.
At least his like dialogue isn't like, "What are we talking about?" Like, the Justice League movie, like Flash shows up and it's like, "What are you wearing, Flash? Like, what are you doing?"
That was hard to watch.
I mean, at least like Marvel, when they show up, it's like they give Spider-Man a new costume. And I'm not crazy about it in Spider-Man Homecoming and his new costume that he popped up in. Was it Civil War?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the new costume, but at least it like looks like Spider-Man.
And it's to the integrity of the character.
Yes. Like Flash, like I was watching this like clips of the Flash's costume is just so bad.
No, bad is the way he runs in the movie.
Yeah, that's part of that's a separate issue.
Bad.
It's also bad. That's also bad. He's speed skating.
It's terrible.
He's got to get those arms
behind
behind
Flash
him.
to look more ridiculous. Can we flail the arms a little bit?
Well, but if you
more?
watch, like, if you look at the comic books of it, like, they always, like, when he runs in the comic books, his arms are never, like, but it's a still. It's not a motion. Like, if you have an exaggerated arm in a still shot.
But I think
there's terrible.
Conserved movement in there. There is no extraneous movement for the Flash. Everything is used in making him go faster. In the movie, it's how can we make him look like he's really putting every bit into making himself go faster, just to look ridiculous, just like a fool.
Success.
Win. Chalk one up. Go Justice League.
Continuing on with the misleading headlines.
Yeah.
So
now, are you telling me the internet is not focused on truth?
Well, okay, so here we go. This headline reads as hold on, we got an ad pickup. Liam Neeson wants to return as Qui-Gon Jinn in Obi-Wan movie.
And lowers mortgage rate.
So the only real discussion it's true.
3.04%.
That's a good deal. Hold on.
Hold on, Qui-Gon.
Gotta make a call here. So there's been rumors that there might be an Obi-Wan movie, and Ewan McGregor has said he would love to play Obi-Wan. That's all that's existed so far. So they interview Liam Neeson, who also is promoting a movie, The Commuter.
Yes.
Which is not
taken. Totally different. Totally different.
And they mention, the this Obi-Wan Kenobi movie might happen, and his quote is, "This is the first time I'm hearing of this. No one's been in touch with me. I know in the Star Wars world, anything is possible." And then he goes, "In the first one, The Phantom Menace, I died, but we know, Jedi come back and stuff, but no one's been in touch. We'll see." And that quote has turned into Liam Neeson wants to return as Qui-Gon.
Well, let's see. I mean,
Obi-Wan.
Have your people talk to my people. Maybe now let me ask. Oh well, I would imagine that the Obi-Wan movie would not be even more. It would be more this way towards 4, 5, 6. I would think, right?
I would think it would sit between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope.
Right? When you think that'd be the time where we could
Especially if
tell
you're
some
gonna
more
use Ewan
stories.
McGregor.
I don't know.
Although all he's doing is sitting in the desert, right?
Remember before?
Here he is.
In the before, I mean, he got hooked up with Qui-Gon somehow. Maybe it's his origin story, like before he becomes the apprentice.
Could be. I still want the Clone Wars to be as cool as they seemed to be in A New Hope. You know what I mean?
What a wreck.
I keep hoping there was an actual Clone Wars that was cooler than what I saw. Because when they say I fought beside your dad in the Clone Wars, I'm like, the Clone Wars, this is awesome. And then I watch the movie, I'm like, this can't be what they're talking about, can it? Is this the battles? So maybe there was like a different one.
Speaking of battles,
Cartoon was one of the best parts of that.
Cartoon was so good. It's terrible to say that.
Good news. Creed 2 has cast Ivan Drago's son.
Yes.
So
I did not see Creed. You saw it, right?
Fantastic.
if you're
Really
not
good, right?
Yeah,
following,
fantastic. And a shame that Sylvester Stallone got nominated for the Oscar and not the kid who played Creed. That was so distressing. And I thought, again, Sylvester Stallone...
Well, Stallone was a supporting actor nominee, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it wasn't even that good. I mean...
But Creed could have been nominated for Best Actor.
Oh, yeah. And he was great. And that was also the controversial year where there were 0 African-American nominees. And I think it was either the year before or the year after 12 Years as a Slave, and I forget which. But the year after that, everyone got, pushed out and nominated and everything. And now we're back to, smattering of responses. But that was a true role where you bring in an African-American character and not, that iconic African-American moment of their life where it was just this. He was just a fantastic actor. Just very, very good. And Sylvester Stallone was fine, but the same role he's played 35 times. And I thought he was better in the return role. What was the Rocky Balboa film? I thought he was better in that than he was in Creed.
It could have been a down year for supporting actors.
I don't know. Usually supporting actors is where the money is. That's where I'm throwing my nickels.
So if you haven't followed the story,
I have not.
Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, as you talked about, movie Creed, and of course we all know Ivan Drago was played by Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV.
Yes.
And they've now cast Florian Big Nasty Munto as his son. He is an actual Romanian boxer. Apparently, has one small movie to his credit. Although, as people have mentioned, Dolph
Avengers
Lundgren,
Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
He's in it.
He's
one of the 76 people, apparently.
So, all those people mentioned, Dolph Lundgren, Rocky IV was only his second movie, so there could be future.
He's done a few movies since then. Dependables 2,
He-Man,
Dependables 3, He-Man, the original Punisher from the 1980s, the one that we didn't get to see. But yeah, some real cinematic masterpieces there.
So, for those that don't remember, in Rocky IV, I don't want to spoil it for you.
What? No!
If you have not seen a movie since 1987, turn off now. Just spoilers are coming.
Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed. One of the scenes early, or this movie's early.
The start of the movie.
So now I'm assuming son is going to avenge against other son. He's held a grudge now in the death of his father.
No.
Or are they just going to pick up straight after Rocky IV?
The boy there on the sidelines, reanimated.
And go.
I don't know.
The Rocky universe has become very confusing.
It's like a Star Wars movie now.
Oh, man.
What was the series I was just reading about that they said they're going to... Was it Alien? No, it wasn't Aliens.
Oh, that's you don't even try to figure out Aliens.
Terminator. It was one of the bigger ones where they're going to come out with a new. I thought it was James Cameron. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Where they're going to, like 5 or 6 movies have come out, and they're going to skip the last 4 and have this new movie come like the others did not exist. Is it Predator? Maybe?
Oh yeah, they're
is it?
releasing a movie, but they're erasing the continuity after a certain one. Oh, I remember that. I forget what it was.
Sounds like a Marvel comic book.
Yeah, but there was something that happened. Someone died, and they're eliminating that. Oh, it's just on the tip of my tongue, and now it's gone again.
As we wait.
It's not like Roseanne. They're eliminating just the last 12 seconds of it or whatever. But
Oh,
And both daughters are coming back, right?
everyone's
Yes.
back, aren't they?
no, the
characters.
people that are dead are not.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, like one of the husbands of one of the daughters died, drug overdose. So
I didn't watch it. The main core is back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I see the commercial, and I've watched very few episodes.
3
in my
children
life.
and the 2 parents.
And the aunt or the
Aunt.
neighbor. Yeah.
But one of the husbands.
Is George Clooney coming back to
No,
reprise his
George
role?
Clooney didn't even come back after season 3. Did you find it?
Terminator 6 is going to start up right after Terminator 2.
Oh no, there was something else I thought of.
James Cameron says his new Terminator. This was back from September. will
But
ignore
that is like
all
something more.
post
Terminator.
sequels.
The Terminator timeline is.
Oh,
if
it's
you
jacked up.
if you can explain everything in the Terminator timeline, you sir deserve like a doctorate,
Yeah.
or ma'am, you deserve a doctorate. You like some university should be like.
And does that count
you.
the Sarah Connor Chronicles and stuff? Was that
Let's not
the
get
show?
crazy.
If you
The
can
TV show?
explain just the movies,
Some of them were okay.
they're all.
Did you
Oh,
watch them?
they're good.
I've watched them. I mean, they're all, but they just get so confusing
Well,
because you're like, what
somewhere
timeline
in the
is
5th or
this?
6th one, it got too messy. To the last one, who was in the last one? I was like,
Schwarzenegger wasn't he in
no.
the
Didn't
last
see
one?
Genesis. That was the last one, right?
was that the one where Christian Bale was in it? That one was the one I had to shut
I thought that
off.
was the 5th one or the 4th one was Christian Bale. I didn't think he was in
think
the most recent one.
The Bale one I had to shut off. No, I didn't see the most recent one. I don't
I
think.
think Bale's the 5th one.
Yeah,
But
that
it
one
is-
was painful.
See, I'm confused by just the movies, let alone the
Oh,
timelines.
I mean, the timelines get so. It's like, what John Connor is this? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, is this good John Connor? Is this bad John Connor? Is this like really John Connor?
Well, even the missions to overthrow everything that didn't overthrow everything.
when they start the
and then
movie,
there's,
I'm almost instantly confused anymore as soon as the movie starts with Terminator. Because it's like, Terminator 1, I had it. Terminator 2, I got it.
Terminator was
After
and then
that,
3 was a little
it's-
convoluted
It's tough to. Yeah.
and corny. I like that. Remember the going into the liquid metal and up comes the thumb. The-
Well, that was 2, wasn't it?
yes, that was 2. Yeah,
So,
When things still made sense.
right.
before it got very
There's another one
confusing.
they've eliminated movies. I got to think of that now. It's Snapdragon.
I don't know. I did not
You have-
know what
you have
you're
a few
talking
minutes
about,
to
obviously,
figure
or Terminator.
So,
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, they've changed the release date. They've moved it up forward.
To
and they
when?
actually have hopscotched over top of Solo, a Star Wars.
Earlier than expected.
When is
Gambit and
Deadpool
New-
coming out?
So, Deadpool 2 is now going to come out on May 18th. It was originally going to be June 1st.
Anniversary gift for us.
So,
Came out like a Valentine's Day last time, didn't
Yeah,
it?
Valentine's Day. We went out for a Valentine's Day date.
To see Deadpool.
Yes.
So it's
how
going to
much
go up
my wife loves me.
against Slender Man. But
Different audience, I think.
is this just, are they just going to destroy Solo, a Star Wars story, by going a week in advance and then just killing it? Or do you think there's other reasons for this move? Now, the excuse they're kind of giving is, you've got Dark Phoenix coming out and New Mutants, and they're concerned about having, especially with the overseas audience, is having too many X-Men movies in the theaters at the same time.
I think that's already too many X-Men movies.
You can spread them out through the whole year. I think it might be too many.
Well, because they're going to move, aren't they moving New Mutants to 2019 now, I think?
Oh,
or
I didn't
something
hear
like
that.
Is that what it is?
Gambit, it says 2019.
Yeah, but I thought New Mutants has been delayed from April 13th of this year to February 22nd of next year. It's getting
So you-
Long delay.
No, Deadpool is Marvel Studios, isn't it?
It's
Or is it
no.
a conjunct? Is it
It's-
Fox?
It was Fox. It was Fox. Now everything's Marvel Studios, but
Well, not everything, right? I thought there was some that are still out there in the bubble.
I don't think so.
I'll have to look for there's a I saw a graphic on
Well,
Twitter.
I would like weird things like Blade or something way out there. But
Yeah, I'll have,
was
I'll have to find that graphic. I saw a
Fantastic
graphic.
Fours and X-Men's were all together. And I think
There was some character
Spider-Man
like,
was
there was some
pulled
like I feel
over.
like there was like a villain like Rhino was still like somebody else's property or something weird like that. Or there was like a couple. There's a little bubble.
okay.
I'll have to find it. I'll find the graphic and
Because I know
send it to you guys.
the Sony things were the Spider-Man universe.
Yes.
You know, this all came from Marvel being dirt poor for a couple of years, and they just sold off everything, and now they're flush with cash and,
And they're
trying
buying
to
it
bring
all back. Well, and they're flush with like Disney cash, right? Because Disney and Marvel and everything.
That's where Disney, well, it's where Marvel made its money when they sold out to Disney.
Yeah. So Disney's really buying everything.
They're one of the big six, right?
Disney doesn't let their thing like if they can get their stuff back, they get their stuff
Oh
back.
yeah, I love the trade for Oswald. Remember the rabbit? They traded an announcer for football to get back Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. That was great.
Hey,
We want everyone to know that we'll tell Disney that Inside Media Weekly is certainly available
Hey,
for property for the right price.
can
If they
you
want
do that
to,
on local access? Can you be available?
We can be presented by
Sure
Disney
they
if
can
we
move
We
need
will
to,
cancel it on local, and we will go straight to
Wherever.
ABC for you.
wherever
No
it goes. So, should Solo, a Star Wars movie, be concerned with Deadpool?
Not for. I mean, I think they should be concerned, but not because of Deadpool.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's looking for something to blame. I mean, with the advanced previews, I think Deadpool is going to make a mountain of money again, and I think Star Wars is getting rusty. I mean, 2 movies in the regular pantheon, and one outside of that made a ton of people happy. If this next one's also rustier, Ralph, yeah, I think I got something to worry about. Looking to hang the blame.
We're almost out of time.
Dang it,
Can you believe
Boni.
it? So next week
I can believe it.
we will. We had a big topic to discuss the most anticipated movies of 2018, but we'll have to save that
this will be 2018
because we still got plenty of time before the next. When's the next halfway decent movie? Black Panther, right? February 16th.
Yes.
So we got a few weeks still to go.
I love Black Panther.
But this weekend, Chris Hemsworth, not Thor, but Draw Strong, is coming out. Den of Thieves and Forever My Girl. I watched the trailers of all three of those. I gotta say,
It could be Jumanji again, #1.
Draw Strong would be the
How
only.
was Jumanji? Oh,
It was still #1, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
It made like 27 million again.
Uh-huh. It
29
only
million.
dropped like 4%.
Dude, it's the staying power of Jumanji and The Rock.
And the following week is gonna be Maze Runner, The Death Cure is gonna be released.
Is that the third Maze Runner movie?
Sounds like Jumanji could be #1 again in 2
Oh,
weeks.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that Jumanji repeated, and Star Wars fell out of the top 5 for the first time.
It's around 600 million now, right?
Yeah.
I think they're doing all right.
Jumanji, The Post,
They're gonna be
The
fine.
Commuter, the Greatest Showman. That would be 3 those in a row, and then Insidious: The Last Key was the #5 movie this weekend. That's all the time we have for on this edition of Inside Media Weekly. Thanks for joining us.